Good morning. Yeah, it's amazing all the things that are happening in April this year. We have Easter, of course, the most important holy day of Christianity, Easter last Sunday. And also we celebrated the Holy Marriage Supper of the Lamb, prophesied in Revelations with our two parents, the anniversary last week. Also, a true father, our founder, Father Sun Moon, was called by Jesus at Easter time. And just a couple of weeks ago, we had the cosmic blessing, thousands of people getting blessed in marriage, some rededicating marriage, many of them their first. And we had the incredible opening of the Chunwalgun and the Chonol Sanctum in Korea, an international temple, interfaith temple. And at the same time, there were lots of international conferences going on, one of which was the Sunhak Peace Prize. Also, just last week, we had the Pope's death and ascension to the spiritual world. Right? Wow, very momentous and significant moment for Catholics around the world. So let's keep our Catholic brothers and sisters in our prayers, and the Pope's ascension, and also the prayers for their selection process for the new Pope. We also have springtime. Oh, April showers bring May flowers, right? So we've got some nice little rain to make things really green. We had the spring equinox. And the celebration of Earth Day was actually last Tuesday. It's April 22nd every year. So I figured, okay, let's talk about Earth Day. And, it's definitely part of our mandate from God to be good stewards and caretakers of the Earth, the planet. Unfortunately, Earth Day has become somewhat politicized, and it's kind of more anti-business and anti-development, and it's kind of being used for other purposes. But especially as unificationists, we know we celebrate the Day of All True Things. We know that God is one of the three great purposes that God's given us, to be loving stewards of the planet, caretakers of the planet. It's one of the responsibilities that God gave us. So I figured I would start off with some of the biblical reminders about our responsibility for the earth. So this is from the first and second chapters of the book of Genesis. We're all familiar with this. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and over every living creature that moves on the ground." In the second chapter, it says, "The Lord took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and take care of it." And he repeats this same mandate with Noah after the great flood. So here's from the book of Psalms. "You have given them," that's us, "dominion over the works of your hand. You have put all things under their feet, all sheep and oxen, also the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the seas." It's quite amazing when you think what God gave us, God's investment in us, and trust in us, that we would be the people who would take care of God's precious creation. Unfortunately, as Paul writes, and as we kind of experience and see in the world, we haven't done such a good job. This is from the book of Romans. "For the creation is eagerly waits for the revelation of the sons of God. For we know that the whole creation groans and suffers together until now." Other versions say groans in travail. So too often, historically and even in modern times, we've abused the creation rather than being good, loving stewards of the planet. Actually, the background of the first Earth Day goes back to 1970. And there was a lot of very obvious pollution problems happening, particularly in the United States. There was a big oil spill in Santa Barbara that kind of shocked everyone. And at the same time, the waterways were becoming polluted. I heard one time the Chicago River would catch fire sometimes because it was so polluted with oil and things like that. And also the problem of smog, just unbelievable in some of the big cities. So actually it was a Republican president, President Nixon, who created the Environmental Protection Agency, the Clear Water Act, and many other laws about we have to take care of our environment, of nature and the planet. And our true parents, true Father Moon and our Holy Mother Han, have always emphasized that we have to have a loving stewardship over the creation. It's one of our core purposes. The first purpose, right, from Genesis, is to perfect ourselves, grow ourselves, become true sons and daughters in our loving relationship and experience with God as our Heavenly Parent. And on that foundation, establish a family and multiply that family of true love to the society, nation, and the world. The third great purpose is to have a loving dominion over all things of creation, be true owners, as we like to say. So this is the call. Here's some words, again, from our true parents. As citizens of Chonoguk, meaning the heavenly kingdom, that's our unificationist term for the kingdom of heaven, please have the wisdom to protect and love nature. Return to nature and enjoy a life of liberation and complete freedom. To love nature is to love God and humanity. And this is from our Holy Mother Han. This is from her speech she gave actually in Vienna. And it was talking about the reasons for establishing the Sunhak Peace Prize. So she says, our Heavenly Parent created heaven and earth with the dream of loving humankind. We must not let the earth be destroyed while humankind has still not fully felt the embrace of God's heart. People who first come to know these things must educate others and prevent that destruction. We must begin a movement that attends God, the true owner. That is the only way for human beings to live and for the ecosystem of the earth to survive. So in 2017, True Mother established the Sunhak Peace Prize as a tool to recognize and uplift people who are doing amazing things in the world. So there's three main areas. There's human rights, there's conflict resolution, and then there's dealing with the challenge of taking care of nature and the natural environment. So let me read. It says, establishing the Sunhak Peace Prize was established to help worldwide, to help resolve worldwide suffering, conflict, poverty, and threats to the environment by promoting a comprehensive, future-oriented vision of peace. So this is the vision is based on the vision of one human family under God. So it encourages and wants to lift up those people who are out there doing amazing things in the world. So it's offered approximately every 2 years, and the very first one was in 2015 with Anote Tong from Kiribati, and please forgive me if I don't pronounce the names correctly, but because he's an island nation, help bringing awareness about the effect that our changing climate is having on water levels and the environment. And then the other was Moda Godu Vijay Gupta from India. And he pioneered amazing work in fish farming, in the aqua agricultural development. this has definitely been one of the long desires and dreams, particularly of Father Moonsbach, all the time about the ocean can feed the world. And so recognizing Mr. Gupta's incredible work in making it possible and practically developing solutions to the food crisis around the world. And then in 2017, Gino Strada from Italy, he's a medical doctor doing amazing work advocating for refugees' medical services. I mean, going into, particularly in the Middle East and Africa, he did a lot, really, focusing on the spreading of peace and trying to deal with the fruits of war, and the many people who suffer, innocent people who suffer. And then Sakina Yacobi from Afghanistan, again, dealing with refugees and resettlement, but particularly focused on education, and she did a lot of work to improve human rights, and particularly the status of Muslim women. And then in 2019, Akinwumi Ayodeji Adesina from Nigeria did amazing things, spearheading good governance in Africa through agricultural innovations and focusing on taking on issues of poverty. Setting a good example. And then Waris Diri from Somalia, again, advocating for women's rights, especially girls and women, particularly with the issue around female genital mutilation and advocating to have that eradicated. In 2020, Munib Yunan, he's an Israeli, a Lutheran, evangelical Lutheran minister. He did so much work in religious harmony, particularly bringing Muslims and Jews and Christians together in the Middle East. And he did a lot of work bringing reconciliation between the Roman Catholic Church and Protestant churches. And then there's Macky Sall, leader in Senegal. And he set a really good example of good governance for an African nation. I mean, he was probably one of the first presidents who reduced the term of the presidents, rather than saying, okay, I'm president for life. And he developed Senegal as an excellent model of a democratic country. And he had made lots of reforms. 2022, you remember, was the era of COVID. And so the honorees were was Dame Sarah Catherine Gilbert from the United Kingdom, and she was instrumental in her work developing the AstraZeneca vaccine. And that it was also one of the benefits of that particular vaccine, it could easily be stored and transported. So it didn't expire so easily. And then representing the organization Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, headquartered in Switzerland, this is the organization that worked to make it easy for vaccines to be spread, particularly after the outbreak of COVID, to make it easy for the vaccines to be shared and spread around the world. And so then last year, or just a couple of weeks ago, was the 2025 Sunhak Peace Prize Awards. And there were three awardees here. Wanjira Matei from Kenya was recognized for her environmental leadership. She's contributed to planting over 51 million trees to help restore the landscape all around Africa, particularly mobilizing women involved in being responsible about the environment. Second was Hugh Evans from Australia. He's established a co-founder of the Global Citizens Alliance. He's raised over $41 billion that impacted like 1.3 billion people around the world, particularly taking on issues of poverty, health, education, and access to essential services. All of these people, amazing stories when you read up about them. And then the third one was Patrick Awuya Jr. He was born in Ghana, moved to America, got his education, was successful with Microsoft, and eventually he moved back to Ghana, to create his own university, the Ashisi University. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. But the curriculum focuses not just, includes tech development, STEM skills, but it emphasized ethics, gender equality, men and women, and critical thinking and leadership. And his vision is that we can overcome corruption in our society by raising up and educating and preparing good leaders. Amazing work being done there. So this is some of the fruits, some of the activities that as unificationists we can be proud of, that we're part of. This is the Sunhak Peace Prize activities. And in addition to this, the Hyojun International Foundation for Environmental Peace set up this website, theearthandi.org. A lot of really interesting, many details about a lot of the efforts going on to take care and to have good, true stewardship of the planet. So this is all about our own dominion of true love that we're meant to have over the things of the creation. The true meaning of celebrating Earth Day, just as when we celebrate Day of All True Things, just as we seek to grow in our life, it's all about us becoming true owners and having a loving dominion over the things of the creation. So, just to bring it home, at the same time as we contribute, just by being unificationists to the activities of the Sunhak Peace Prize and the many projects that are happening around the world, even at home, there's the three things that are taught over and over again, right, in school nowadays: reduce, reuse, recycle, right? The 3 R's of good stewardship, right? Don't, use less. Don't waste things, especially food or things like that. Reuse things where we can, right? There's so many plastic containers. I have a house full of empty plastic containers that get reused over and over again, right? And also recycling. I'm grateful that Sacramento has such a robust recycling program, for recycling things. In addition to these kind of standards, as unificationists, really cultivate in our heart and mind that respect and care for nature. I'm always kind of astounded at how much God shows God's love through nature and the creation. It's just mind-boggling to me. And if we have that kind of heart and care and appreciation of the amazing beauty of nature and the world around us, then it's natural for us not to do things like litter or pollute or just these things become they don't make sense because I love and I care for it. I'm so grateful for the beautiful world and the nature around me. And then finally, just to be grateful about that. Be grateful and enjoy. God created creation for us to experience joy through that loving interaction. As loving stewards, caretakers, there's so much joy that God can stimulate in our lives. And God does through nature and the environment. So I really love, this is a quote from a prayer from True Parents that really says what all things of creation really want is to be loved. So let me read it. This is from True Parents' prayers. True Parents pray, please allow us to realize that the things of creation want to be taken care of and want to be governed by a true person. Please allow us to become your sons and daughters who love the world with all the things of creation. we earnestly hope and pray that you allow us to become your sons and daughters who are able to be more deeply aware than anyone else of the value of the things of creation, and who are able to care for them. So, in celebrating Earth Day and also rejoicing the victories of all those who've been awarded in the Sunhak Peace Prize, let's be those true sons and daughters of God who can receive the entrusted, responsibility and blessing from God to care and love for this world. Please join me in prayer. Father, Mother God, our loving Heavenly Parent, we are so grateful for your love, for your presence in our lives, and for the workings that are going on around the world even now. And especially, Heavenly Parent, in this springtime season, it's so easy to feel your love and your amazing, beautiful creation. Heavenly Parent, we truly want to every day honor, respect, and be grateful for your things of creation. That we can be the sons and daughters that you find joy in our interaction, in our relationship with this beautiful planet that you've given us. Heavenly Parent, we're so grateful for the foundation that we inherit, and for the sacrifice of so many, and your investment in each one of our lives. So we pray, even in this moment, in this Sunday morning, Heavenly Parent, that as we open up our hearts to you, reflect and are grateful, Heavenly Parent, pray that you can continue to guide us to be victorious and successful stewards and caretakers of this planet and of this world. So, Heavenly Parent, on the foundation, in attendance to our precious Holy Mother Han, and as your sons and daughters, we offer up this prayer gratefully. Amen and adieu.